Hello guys, very good morning. Today we will learn about calf muscles exercises. When we do legs workout, we also add calf muscles exercises in our workout schedule for lower body. There are two muscles in the calf, okay, the upper superficial muscle and the deep muscle. Okay, deep muscle is soleus and superficial muscle is gastrocnemius. It has two head, lateral and medial head. So the upper superficial muscle, it is biarticulate muscles. Okay, so some people, when they do calf exercise, either they do standing calf only, or some people do only seated calf, or some people cover both seated calf and standing calf, but they think that this is the variation for calf muscle exercises, but this is not the variation. Both targets different muscles. So when we are doing standing calf raises, it is mainly focused on gastrocnemius muscle, and when we do seated calf exercises, it targets deep muscle soleus, which function is plantar flexion, like that. So when we are doing seated calf, it is targeting deep muscle, and when we are doing standing calf muscle, it is targeting the superficial calf gastrocnemius muscles. Okay, the deep muscle is larger, flat. Okay, but this is more stronger, the gastrocnemius. It helps in running, walking, and deep muscle mostly in movement like dancing or something. So when we are doing calf muscle exercises, you have to do both standing calf and seated calf. Our calf muscles are very important. It is called the second heart of the body, human body, because it is pumping blood against the gravity, vertical 90 degree against the gravity. That's why it's called second heart of the human body. So you have to train it very well with both the variations. So when we are doing calf raises, we have to learn about how to do this exercises and how to place. Okay, so you have to first finish your quadricep, glutes and hamstring workout. Hamstring will always assist your glutes muscle. So first you finish all the hip extension and knee extension exercises like squat, deadlift, lunges, step up, or whatever you're doing, leg press, hip thrust, leg extension. And after that we have to do both calf exercises, then switch to hamstring. Okay, why this sequence? It is very important to understand the concept. But our gastrocnemius muscle is biarticulate. Biarticulate means it is crossing two joints. If there is a muscle and it is crossing two joints, like suppose if it is bicep, it is crossing here and it is crossing here also, right? So it has to function, elbow flexion and shoulder flexion, but it cannot work simultaneously most efficiently, because if you are using this muscle here, then it will not work here efficiently. So it will work one side efficiently, like 70-80%. So if I am doing biceps here, it is working efficiently, but if I keep my hands like this and now I do biceps, it will not work here properly, because it is already engaged here in shoulder flexion. That's why we do preacher curl, to train our deep muscles. We will talk about it later, but just to understand what is the bilateral movement functioning. So when we are doing calf muscle, suppose if I am doing standing calf, now in this position my knee is in extended position. Okay, so the calf muscle is not engaged here, right? So if I do like if I fold, now calf muscle is engaged here, because gastrocnemius muscle has two functions, knee flexion and ankle this plantar flexion. So it will work either here or here efficiently. So if I am standing and doing calf with weight or without weight or body weight like this, so in this position, if my knee is in extended position, it means it is not engaged at the knee joint right now. So it will potentially working at the ankle joint like this. So I can train my gastrocnemius muscle by standing calf with full potential. Okay, but in the deep, like at the ankle joint, so the other deep muscle, soleus, which is called soleus, this muscle is single articulate, it is not biarticulate. It is crossing only this ankle joint, but not here. So this deep muscle, soleus muscle's function is to plantar flexion like this. So if I want to train my this deep muscle, then I have to block my gastrocnemius, the big superficial calf muscle. If I block my outer muscle, then only I will be able to train efficiently these soleus muscles. So the mechanism changes when we sit down. So now in this position, if I am sitting, so the calf muscle, gastrocnemius muscles function is also to flex the knee. So if I flex my knee, now the big muscle, the calf muscle, gastrocnemius is engaged here. Now if it is engaged here already, then it will not be able to here downside soleus muscles, right? So if I want to train soleus muscle, then I have to engage my this gastrocnemius muscle at the, then only it will work properly. That is the reason when we do seated calf, we cannot lift heavy weight, because the if we compare to calf muscle, and also the mechanism changes liver and all the things. Okay, so if I am doing seated calf, so what is happening? This movement happening. So now my gastrocnemius muscle is engaged here. It will not support soleus muscle. So I can train my deep muscle, soleus muscle efficiently by sitting. That's why we have to do seated calf to target our soleus muscles, right? And when we are standing up and doing calf movement, now this gastrocnemius, the bigger outer muscle, is not engaged here, so it will potentially working downside at the ankle joint. That is the difference. So there are two muscles, deep muscle and outer muscle. Gastrocnemius muscle outside and deep muscle soleus is inside. So first we have to train our calf muscle by standing calf, all the variations whatever you want, or either you doing on machine or with weight. Okay, and when you finish the calf muscle, then you have to do this, because when first we do calf muscle, it is like gastrocnemius muscle, it is already fatigued, so now it will not be able to help here downside. Then we have to switch to the seated calf. So in a workout sequence, first we have to do standing calf, then we have to do seated calf, but you have to do both exercise. It is mandatory, because both are targeting different muscles. So it is not a variation. Now we are clear that we have to do seated calf and standing calf both, and first we have to do standing calf and then later we have to do seated calf. That is the difference in standing calf and seated calf. So many people are confused that they should do both, or they should do standing or seated. That is about the calf seated and difference between seated and standing. So when we are doing seated calf, if you are doing at home, you do not have many equipment, then you just sit on the bench or chair or something, or you can put weight here, or like if you have partner, then tell them to sit here and you can do this movement, or you can hold weight here like dumbbell or plate, and then you can do this movement, and but you have to put underneath your feet. So when when this is happening, your ankle joint should be fully in stretch position, like fully flex and fully extend. Okay, if I keep my feet on the ground, then there will be some compromise in range of motion, right? But if I have this such like that much height, if you have anything, any object with that much height, then it will be better. So you can push more down, so you will get more range of motion at the ankle joint. So this is calf. And if you are going into the gym, then there is a seated calf exercise, seated calf machines there, so you can do seated calf here. And when you doing, make sure that your placement of your foot is properly. Do not keep all the like that much. So there is a curve, you see the curve of our legs, this foot curve. So keep this point at the box, okay, at this line, because, and you do not have to count this finger, because finger you cannot put weight on finger. So you see this point, this is the pivot for calf. So if I keep my this portion here, then it will move here, not on the finger. And if you put more forward, then it will block the range of motion. Okay, so make sure you are touching this portion on the box, this portion. So you will be able to make more range of motion like this. And if you do this one, then it might slip sometime. When you're doing with weight, slowly it is going down and it might get slipped. So make sure you place properly, and the stance between the legs should be parallel to each other, not very much wider. Okay, like this. This is the, okay, wait. So this is the proper stance. I hope you can see that. Okay, this normal stance, shoulder width. If we do wider, then it will be like inversion eversion. If you keep more close, then when we do movement, it will go this way, not this way. Okay, so keep both the leg parallel, shoulder width stance, either you doing seated or standing calf. Okay, so this is about seated calf. Okay, I will add a video to make you understand properly. Okay, so this is the position, and make sure it is 90 degree. Do not keep that wide, or do not keep the machine pad here. Okay, just underneath. So this is your pivot, this is your joint moving, and the pad of the machine should be in the line 90 degree here. So slightly keep like this. So your pivot and the pad of the machine will be in the same line. When you are doing seated calf, do not take support. Okay, do not pull this with your hand, otherwise bicep will work. So just place properly and make sure you are capable to hold the lock, or you can take support from your partner. Okay, so this is seated calf, and every exercise has a starting point, so you have to change breathing at the starting point. So you should keep starting point here, because when you keep here, it will stretch your calf muscles. So better you keep here, but you can change wherever you feel more comfortable. So suppose if I do this is my starting point. So first inhale, down, then come up, then exhale. Okay, inhale, down, full down, and then up, then exhale. Okay, like this. So this is seated calf for soleus muscle. You have to do after standing calf. When we are doing standing calf, so there are different options. You can do on the Smith machine, or there are some proper calf machines, so where you can hold the pad, the machine, you stand over there, and there is a weight stack, you can change the weight. Okay, and you do this one. So there also you have to keep same stance. Okay, so machine is safer. Okay, but if you are doing with Smith machine, okay, then make sure that where you put this box down. Okay, so sometime you know what happened, you standing here on the Smith machine, you holding the weight like this, and when we do, sometime the box can flip, and there are chances of injury. So to make sure, if you are doing this box, okay, this exercise on this box, then make sure that either you put some weight here like plate or dumbbell, that side, so it will not flip. Even if you are doing with heavy weight, it will not flip this side, and there will be no injury. And the second option is you keep this box like this. Okay, so every gym has such a step up board. Okay, step up board. Now what you have to do, same thing you can do. So here you don't have to put any weight that side, at the other side, because it will not flip here, it is longer. But when you are putting here like this, then there are chances of injury. So make sure when you are doing standing calf on Smith machine, okay, then you have to be careful about this. It can flip like this, so you put some weight here, so it will be safer. So this is standing calf. Here also you have to change breathing here. Okay, so starting point, inhale, down full, and then up, exhale. Again inhale, full down, up, then exhale. Okay, so better on the machine. If you do not have standing calf machine in the gym, then second option will be leg press machine. So on the leg press machine you can do the same thing. Okay, so it was about the calf exercises. So now I hope you understand the clear concept standing calf versus seated calf. You have to do both exercises, and if the machines are available then try on machine. If you do not have machine then just do on the leg press machine. If you do not have leg press machine, then if you are using Smith machine, then there is a lock, safety lock also there. So sometime what happen, when you are doing calf muscle and you slip down, okay, when we slip it, the weight will collapse on it, okay, on us. So there are some safety locks on the Smith machine. So you just put the safety locks on a particular height. So even if you fall down, the weight will be stuck there, understand, it will not collapse on you. So safety is also very important. So when you are doing this calf exercise, especially on Smith machine, just check the lock and make sure the box is properly stable. Okay guys, so it was about standing calf versus seated calf.